Hello, everyone, and welcome, at long last, to Alan Wake. And I am so excited to finally have the opportunity to play this game on this channel. Of course, it's been associated with the channel for quite a while, because Alan Wake is my player model in Gary's mod. And there's a reason for that. There's a reason why I've chosen this image to represent myself and the vibe that I'm trying to convey in these explorations. But first, I'll give a little bit of background on my relationship with this game. See, I've actually played this game once before, way back at the start of 2014 when I was first starting to get into horror gaming. And I really don't remember pretty much anything about the plot or events or anything that happens in it. But I want to play it now, and I've kept it as my player model because of what did stick with me. And that's just the feeling of this game. This was the first game where, even though I didn't find it particularly scary, even though I was rarely jumped out of my seat, I absolutely adored just being in it. And that's because, guys, this is a seriously beautiful game. Not just for the graphics, although they certainly are gorgeous, as you'll come to see, but because of the breath that it puts into the very particular vibe that it's trying to achieve. It has one of my favorite environments for exploring or even just hanging out in. And I'll tell you what, a big part of that is because from what I understand and what I was told at the time, is that this game actually takes heavy inspiration from Twin Peaks. Now, back then, I hadn't seen Twin Peaks. I didn't know anything about it. I was only vaguely aware of the fact that it existed. But as of the past year or so, I've seen the show, I've seen Fire Walk with Me, and I've seen The Return. So perhaps this playthrough will have a little bit more to offer me. Let's get going. And we'll just put it on normal.
Stephen King once wrote that nightmares exist outside of logic, and there's little fun to be had in explanations. They're antithetical to the poetry of fear. In a horror story, the victim keeps asking why, but there can be no explanation, and there shouldn't be one. The unanswered mystery is what stays with us the longest, and it's what we'll remember in the end. My name is Alan Wake. I'm a writer. I've always had a vivid imagination, but this dream unsettled me. It was wild and dark and weird, even by my standards. So yes, it began with a dream. Following a typical nightmare pattern, I was late, desperately trying to reach my destination, a lighthouse. For some urgent reason, I couldn't remember. I'd been driving too fast down a coastal road to get there. I'd seen the hitchhiker too late. He was dead. I was convinced they'd put me in jail and I would never see Alice again. Suddenly, his body was gone. I was in shock from the crash. I could hardly stay on my feet.
And here we are. Look up to the light. No, I would not like to reverse my controls. Oh, I am so happy to be playing this already. The instant this starts in its cutscene, and we get such a beautifully worded summary of why horror is best left unexplained, something which I've been trying to articulate on this channel for so long. And it looks like I'm going to have a co-narrator in this one. Alright, let's get going. Is there anything we need to grab from our vehicle? Huh. All copies of our latest book, I guess. Now, as you can see from these lights and the way they're done, darkness is going to be a huge part of this game.
The radiator had broken when I hit the hitchhiker. The car wasn't going anywhere.
Yeah, no such luck, of course, and ooh. I've just realized that, as is par for the course in a nightmare, the wall behind us is now bricked up. Alright, well, no way out but forward, and a bunch of you commented this during the playthrough. This road sure does look a whole lot like a certain segment of In Sound Mind, doesn't it? I can clearly see where the inspiration was taken from. Hang on, that's a missing persons poster. Yeah, I knew about the lighthouse. It's kind of the most prominent thing in the scene. Huh. It's me. Just a nightmare or prophetic? I love games that open with a dream because they really allow you to learn a little bit about the character and what the game is going to be about.
Collapsed. I'd have to find another way to the lighthouse.
Coffee thermos? Huh, does that do something for me, or is that just going to be another collectible? Kind of funny how bluntly he states that he's a writer at the end of the intro. I guess it's being realistic. Maybe he's having a nightmare about being the driver who hit Stephen King. But what does the sign above the bridge say? Welcome to the town of Night Springs. Oh, look at that, a dark, fog-covered, dilapidated bridge leading to a town called Night Springs. I wouldn't despair, Alan. This has franchise potential. Rain Cove Point Lighthouse. Not only missing posters for myself and a cat, but ads for my book along the way. Okay, this is now a chase. Whoa!
You don't even recognize me, do you, Ryder? You think you're God? You think you
Run.
can just make up stuff? Play with people's lives and you think it adds to the
Where do I go? Do I just have to jump?
in this story?
Oh, I guess I do. Ow. Okay,
There wouldn't be a single readable sentence in your books if it wasn't for your editor. You'll never publish another one of your shitty stories, 'cause I'm gonna kill you. It's not like your stories are any good. Not like they have any artistic merit. You're a lousy writer. Cheap thrills and pretentious shit. That's all you're good for. Just look at me. Look at your work.
ooh, there's a QR code that we can apparently scan. Somebody, let me get close enough so somebody can maybe do something with that. Okay, you're just gonna chill here, and he's gone. Man, everybody's a critic, including sleep demons. Alright, hop this, keep running. Light is safety, but...
You missed your deadline.
oh no. Alright, shift and arrow key. Alright, shift and key. Dodge!
You can't stop.
I'm really gonna have to get the hang of this. I have a feeling it's gonna be very prevalent in gameplay. Ugh. As soon as you go to attack, that's when I have to
I
dodge.
realized that the hitchhiker was a character from the story I'd been working on.
A character from the story you've been working on. Is this gonna be one of those your mind makes it real deals?
How does it feel to die by the hands of your own creation?
Oh no, he brought a sky beam. Usually you have to save that for the climax. Alright, run, 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 run. Oh god, the running is so weird. It's like I'm on a path, and my arrow keys, or my WASD, only vaguely tells him the direction. And this camera is a little awkward as well. Alright, run, run, run. Oh, the darkness rushing up to meet me. This doesn't look like it'll be an improvement. Wait, who are you? You're somebody different. I'm hurrying as I can. What's that in your hand? Oh, that whole chasm getting swallowed up by the darkness.
Let's do it, remember? Quickly, get inside! There's no time to lose!
Will do. Oops, sorry.
Oh no! Stop! No! Damn it, die! No! No! No!
I was trapped. There was no way out.
What do I do? Besides be subjected to whatever that is. It says get to the lighthouse, but there's nothing I can do!
The cabin was a death trap. I had to get out.
But how? Back door? Back door? Is there something I can pick up? Oh, I don't even know what's attacking me. Towards the light. Always towards the light. That's what this dream is trying to tell me.
You are hurt. You should go into the light. You are only safe there.
Okay, I thought it was pretty well implied, but thank you for explicitly stating it. Starting to be about as subtle as Stephen King.
Well done. I have something important to tell you. It goes like this. For he did not know that beyond the lake he called home lies a deeper, darker ocean green, where waves are both wilder and more serene. To its ports I've been. To its ports I've been. Do you understand?
No.
Follow my light. I entered your dream to teach you. The darkness is dangerous. It's sleeping now. When it feels you coming, it will wake up. There's no time. I can only show you the most important thing.
That definitely sounds a lot like my voice.
This way. There's no time.
It's either me, Jesus, or Aslan.
The hitchhiker has been taken over by the dark presence. You can't hurt him now. The darkness protects him from all harm. Only light can drive the darkness away and make him vulnerable again. Here, take the light.
Thank you?
Turn your flashlight toward him and burn the darkness away.
Oh, so we can use it passively like this, or boost it by pointing it directly at something. And we're out of batteries. But once that ring collapses...
Now the darkness no longer protects him, but it's still inside, controlling him. He can't be saved. He's still a threat. He is still your enemy. Here, take the gun.
Alright, who needs courage when you have a gun? Alright, you get back, it still blinds you, and we use the flashlight to aim. Bang, 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 bang. Wow, that was a lot.
Good. You've done well. Remember what I've taught you. That is all. I will give you back your dream now.
In the nightmare, a terrible darkness was taking over the world. The lighthouse was the last safe place on Earth.
That's hilarious. Some of the wording is a little blunt to be taken seriously. It's kind of funny. Yeah, I'll leave you back to it. You have fun. I've already taught you what you needed to know.
You made me this way.
Alright, let's try it for ourselves. Maybe we can save battery by pointing it towards you like this. Yeah, when we have time to kill, time before you reach us, we can just use the regular pointing mode. Okay, it's starting to come back to me. Now, one thing I remember is that I really like how the flashlight is such an integral part of the combat. That's really cool, having to weaken enemies that are invulnerable until we do this trick. However, I do also sort of remember that it starts to get a little repetitive after a while. but we'll see how we feel about that as we go on.
This isn't
Oh no. Where are they? Oh! Jumped right out of the bush. And there's another coming. I see it. Where do you think you're going? Okay. 3 shots with the revolver will take down your typical enemy. But look at all these wibbly effects. That darkness that was approaching us from the bridge, it's starting to envelop the entire dream. We gotta get moving. Flares. To an enemy that's averse to light, these are like a nuke, huh? Plus 1 to switch weapons and throwables. Okay, so we have a flare gun.
just like
Let's see how well this does. Ah, both damaging and eliminating your invulnerability while lighting the way for us. Okay, so that's useful, but presumably more limited in ammo. Alright, now, like I said, I remember it being repetitive, but thus far it feels pretty good. Having the flashlight being required to take away their power, I feel like that's a good way of integrating the game's themes with its gameplay. Not to mention adding resource management to the survival horror elements. Now, I'm sure it'll be getting harder, but I'm starting to get the hang of this. And you're coming from behind, meaning we have to keep it moving. Being a dream, I'm sure you can. Is there anything in the back of this conspicuously open van? There's not! It's a trap. Okay, run, 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 run. Certainly capturing the helplessness of a dream. Do those shadows that we see behind us, do those indicate where things will land? Keep moving, keep moving. Oh, I'm so slow. I'm out of batteries, too, so... all I'm gonna have is my passive light. Keep running. Come on, Alan. Why are you so out of shape? This is gonna be one of those games, is it? The light is safety. Another thermos. I'm not gonna go out of my way to get every collectible, but I'm gonna try to get as many as I can in case it unlocks something. Inside. But it's powerless to enter.
Baby, just another nightmare. Everything's fine. You dozed off.
Right. Anything more than dozed off would be news for everyone.
Cheer up, handsome. We're here.
Bright Falls. Pretty much the opposite of our dream world. But look at that place. I honestly wish this was rendered in-engine, because this pre-rendered is so low res that it doesn't do it justice. Just wait until you see this, because this is the moment that I was blown away by this game. Look. The fog rolling over the mountains and trees, birds flying overhead.
Like we're on vacation. Go stand next to that old gentleman there. I want a shot of you with the town in the background.
Sure. I'll even give you a title for the shot. A city boy, moments before he got eaten by a bear.
I just want to admire this some more. I really appreciated this for letting this moment breathe, for letting us
Alan,
take our
don't miss
time.
the shot.
Well, apparently we're not taking our time because she's going to bug me about this. But I'm just entering this beautiful, sleepy little town.
Hi.
Hello there. You picked a good time to visit our town. Deerfest is just 2 weeks away.
Deerfest, huh? Did you hear that, honey?
You have a lovely wife. If you don't mind me saying. I'm Pat Maine, by the way. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, I'm Alan Wake.
Hey, Doc
hope
Hayward, I
that
mean
I
Pat
don't
Maine.
recognize a famous writer such as yourself, Mr. Wake. A pleasure. I'm an avid reader myself. I hope this isn't too presumptuous of me, but I'm the night host at the local radio station. Any chance I could get an interview?
Look, Mr. Maine, I'm on vacation. In fact, I'd appreciate it if we could keep my being here just between the two of us. I'm sure you understand.
Fair enough. You can trust me to be discreet. Not a hard man to track down if you change your mind, though. I hope you two have a lovely holiday.
Yep, we are every Stephen King protagonist.
Very nice. I got a couple of really good ones. And I see you made a friend. That's cute.
Right. Yeah?
Hey, bestseller, how's my favorite writer? Are you there yet?
Barry. Yeah, we just got here.
Are the locals giving you trouble? Just say the word and I'll hop on a plane and come make sure that you're left alone, Al.
No, Barry, we're fine.
Great, great. Just want to make sure you can relax and recharge. So, how is the place? Has it gotten your creative juices flowing?
Barry, we're just settling in.
Okay, Al. I'll call back later to make sure you're doing okay. And you call me if there's a problem, okay? Okay. I'm just looking out for you, buddy. Talk to you later.
I love you too, Barry.
You know he's going to be calling you every 5 minutes.
Barry is Barry. I can always turn off the phone.
What did I tell you?
Text message from Barry. He says hi to you too.
Alan, we're here. Come on, let's get back to the car.
All right. But do we have to? I mean, look, it's almost even better when you turn around. Absolutely gorgeous the way the fog captures the light. I was even more blown away by this 9 years ago.
Come on,
I'd never
Slowpoke.
seen anything
We
like
got the
it.
full service here. I've made all the arrangements. I drive the car. I'll even carry the bags. All
Yeah,
you have
whatever.
to do is-
We need to stop at the local diner to get the cabin key from the landlord, a Mr. Carl Stuckey. He's waiting for us. I'll go fill her up while you get the key. I'll pick you up here in, say, 15 minutes.
Sure.
Alan, thank you for coming here with me.
I love you too. Go on. I'll promise to behave. I'd forgotten there were still places like this. Towns where everybody knew everybody.
Welcome to the Oh Dear Diner.
Hi, I was wondering if you could help me. I'm looking for...
Mr. Wake. Alan Wake. Oh, God! I am your biggest fan. I know people say that all the time, but I really am.
I'm glad to hear that.
Rose.
Rose, I'm looking for Mr. Stuckey. Carl Stuckey?
Carl? Of course, Mr. Wake. He must have gone to visit the restroom. He'll be back in a moment.
I can't believe it. I've got all your books. I got the cutout from the bookstore when they took it out of the window.
And you keep it here. Well, okay. Good for you.
Always nice to meet a fan, Shelley. I mean,
Try the
Rose.
coffee. Just don't blame me when you fall in love, 'cause it'll break your heart when you have to leave.
Rusty here is no longer human. Nothing but black coffee under a thin layer of skin.
Yeah, that makes two of us.
Quite a nice cup of coffee you got here, huh? Oh, look, layout-wise, it is exactly the diner from Twin Peaks.
I'm having a conversation with Alan Wake.
Let's have a look at this.
Right. So much for a quiet vacation.
Are you on your own? Or is your wife with you? I can show you the town if you want. I get off work at 6.
Thanks, Rose. We'll be sure to keep that in mind.
All right. Well, it was nice talking to you, Shelley and Sheriff Truman. I'm going to go have a talk with these new guys that I haven't seen before.
Do me a favor, Sonny. I could really use a tune right now. Coconut, Number 6 in the jukebox. I'd do it myself, but both of my legs have gone to sleep. Bad circulation.
Okay, so we've got an original cast of eccentrics.
Coconut again? You disgust me. Call yourself a rocker. Unbelievable. Ah.
It does that. Get stuck. Yeah, you need to give it a good solid whack.
All right. Oh, it's a mini game.
Now that's what I'm talking about, yes!
This is it. I've died and gone to hell.
This is what I loved about it. The way it didn't just have us go straight into the spookiness and the combat, that we got to know everyone here. Like he said, it's a town where everyone knows everyone, and we have to become part of that. Hello, who are you?
Don't go in there, young man. You can hurt yourself in the dark.
I think I can handle it, ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to wait. I wanted to find
do
Stucky,
you?
to get the key and get out as soon as possible. The waitress was giving me a headache.
Listen.
Overeager fans always did.
So, okay, so you're our equivalent for the log lady, right? Our analog for the log lady? Can't hear anything you're saying because the voices are so low. Hang on, I'm gonna see if I can change that. No, the speech volume is at max. That's kind of, Alright. It actually is kind of spooky back here. That lady peeking through the one source of light. It's one of those things where I wouldn't have been afraid, but now that she said something, it gives me pause.
Hello? Mr. Stucky?
Carl couldn't make it. Unfortunately, he was taken ill. But I have the key for you and instructions on how to get to the lake.
Okay.
I wish you a good stay in my cabin. I'll come by later to check how you've settled in. And to meet your wife. I insist.
Thanks.
Huh. That actually is kind of spooky.
Cauldron Lake is a special place. Very inspiring.
Being lured into the back room. Into the dark, where I'm confronted by a woman clad in all black with a cryptic message.
This time, young man, you can hurt yourself in the dark. This really ought to be fixed, and then I must remind Sarah to change the lights at the station. It's been too long already.
Even that sounds better than your singing.
Are you alright?
Splendid! Damn hernia. It swells up like a balloon if I lift anything heavier than a spoon. Yeah.
Well, I'll leave you guys to it, I guess.
They're, local musicians. We're waiting for Dr. Hartman to come pick them up. They wandered off from his clinic at the Cauldron Lake Lodge.
So that's why you're here. I love that. Just those little side things where it's like, yep, there's those two eccentric nut jobs. They're a thing here.
I'll be heading back to work as soon as Dr. Hartman gets here, Rose. Oh, but I'm not looking forward to the poison we have at the Park Cafe.
Bye, Mr. Wade.
Mission accomplished. The key and the directions.
My hero. I got some flashlights, just in case.
Hey, wait! Mrs. Wake! Your keys!
That diner was a real nut house.
Can you believe this place? This would make a wonderful setting for a book.
We're supposed to be on vacation, Alice. I'll figure it out when we get back home. Okay?
Okay. We can talk about this later.
Batman here on PBF FM.
I didn't want to talk about it. I wanted to bury my head in sand.
Here's another one of my my favorites to go with it.
Once upon a time, I was a successful writer, but that was a long time ago. I hadn't been able to write a word in 2 years, not since my last book.
And now the weather. It's gonna be a clear night, so you folks in the big city might want to look up every once in a while, see those stars winking down at you. It gets pretty dark out here, but they'll light your way.
Wow. It's gorgeous, Alan.
It's something, all right. Don't worry, honey. I'll get you inside safe and sound before it gets dark. And I've got the flashlight.
I know. I'm okay.
Alice had a phobia. The fear of darkness. I wanted to make sure we were inside with the lights on before sunset.
Let's do it. Hello, ominous crow.
Are you sure you read the directions right? It's nothing like in the brochure. It said near the lake, not on it. Don't get me wrong. This is so much better. It's wonderful. Our own private island.
I can see now behind you this place has a well, too. Now covered. Look at this. It's the absolute serenity of the location. That combined with the spookiness of the old cabin that, and its architecture, almost appears to be looking at you. Watching you arrive. When a place is so clearly aged like this, it really makes you think more about who built it, who has stayed here before you, what kind of things this place has seen. Before we head straight for the door, let's have a little look around. Actually, let's just check and see if it's open first. I think we got the key, right?
Here we go. Let's take a look inside. Come on.
There we go.
It's dark in there. We need lights. Can you figure out how to get the power on, honey?
Sure thing. I'm on it.
Now that's weird. The back door is left open.
Hello?
And even weirder, there are footsteps from upstairs. Hang on, I was going to explore the property more, but... Ooh. You actually startled me a little bit. And then the very first thing it has us do is investigate the spooky noise from upstairs. And I realized that was something that almost no game has ever done.
For a moment, the oppressive feel of the nightmare I had seen on the ferry returned. Damn.
Doesn't seem like we have the ability to turn our light off either.
I needed to get the power running in the cabin. There had to be a fuse box or a generator somewhere on the island.
I guess whoever built this place was into taxidermy. Ooh, it's a photo of what looks like somebody in an old-timey diving suit at the end of the dock. The original owner, maybe?
The cabin looked like a time capsule from the 60s, or even earlier.
July 1970. That kind of makes the circumstances of our renting this place a little bit strange. So this isn't like an Airbnb where people frequently stay. It really is a time capsule. Can't explore these rooms. Okay. These crows are a little bit too okay with people, especially considering all their brothers and sisters that are hung up inside. There's the dock.
The Deer Fest guests have already started to arrive. Just ran into one on the ferry. A famous artist, no less, but we'll see if we can rope him into an interview later on. Now, let's go to the phones. Caller, you're on KBF-FM.
Hi, Pat. It's Rose.
Why, hello, Rose. What's on your mind?
Who's my fan?
Famous artist was. It was Alan Wake, wasn't it? He's my favorite writer.
Now, Rose, I
just saw him at the diner. Oh, I am so excited he's here.
I'm sure he's glad to be here, too. Well, folks, I guess the secret's out. This is Pat Maine on KBF-FM. And now, some music.
Great. So much for keeping a low profile.
Oh, don't worry about it. Now, is there anything we can see down here?
The water was clear but dark. It looked very deep.
Very deep. I wonder if this place was built as a base to look for something that's at the bottom. Clear, dark, and very deep. Kind of like our dream, huh? Alright, well, I saw a little shack off to the side. That's probably where we... Oh, that's the radio. I was gonna say, I saw a little shack off to the side. That's probably where we can find, like, a generator or something.
The power cable goes to that shed over there.
Yeah, I'm on it. Ooh, a carving.
The island had once been the site for a love story. Maybe it would be that again.
One can hope. Although something tells me it'll be more of a horror story. What if we come over here? Is there anything we can see?
Alice had told me about Cauldron Lake Lodge. The old building used to be a hotel, but these days it was no longer open to the public.
You mean the Great Northern? Somewhere up there, Ben Horn is scheming. You gotta be kidding me. I am seeing so much Twin Peaks in all of this. Alright, shed. Here we go.
An old generator had been connected to the power cable.
Another one of these. Introducing this type of game, huh? Oh no, I can already see how this is going to be used. There are going to be times when we need light, and we've got to frantically get a generator started in order to retrieve said light. Is that it? Oh no, I can already...
Good work, honey. I'll freshen up a bit and start settling in.
Okay.
Yeah, you do that.
I'll look around a bit.
Sure thing. Have fun.
Hello, cellar. No, you can't fade to black before I check out the cellar.
It was a beautiful place. I told myself I could rest here, sleep here, and forget about my work. I thought we could be happy here.
As the sun sets, this definitely starts to take on more of an eerie tone. The fog seems to have settled just above the water. The light's now on in the lodge. Almost acting as a beacon or something watching, towering over us. I bet we'll be heading over there at some point. Now, are we going to get the opportunity to check out that cellar entrance? I gotta say, this is the kind of place I would love to stay for like a whole week or more. Maybe even buy it when the time is up. An axe still embedded in that tree. Weren't we attacked by a figure with an axe in our dream? I wonder if that's not some kind of foreshadowing for what's to come. You seriously didn't close the back door?
Honey? The old door had played a trick on me. Alice wouldn't have come out in the dark.
Okay, well, my logic was I was kind of hoping I would find you standing on the end of the dock.
Alan, I'm upstairs. I have a surprise for you.
This is shaping up in a very positive direction.
Well, hello there.
I'm not the surprise. It's in the study. Go take a look.
Okay.
You led me so wrong.
Surprise!
Alice? What is this?
I guess I have a small confession to make. I thought maybe you could write here that a change of scenery would get you past...
Damn it, Alice, you... Everyone
Hey,
keeps...
hey, just hear me out.
There's a local doctor, Dr. Hartman. I read a book of his. He has a private clinic here. He specializes in helping artists. Maybe...
So now you want to get me committed?
No, it's not like that. That's not...
Whoa.
Alan? Alan?
Don't, just don't. I don't want to hear it. God damn it, Alice. God damn it. I knew she wouldn't follow me in the dark. I needed some time alone to think things through. Damn it. Alice? Alice? Alice! The cabin had gone dark. All the lights were out.
Oh, look at that. The birds flying up there. All taking flight at once. Whoa, 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 whoa! Oh, I actually have to deal with them! On the way, when we run, our light literally just like flashes all over the environment. Representing our uncontrolled panic. Jeez. Get in there.
Alice? Oh no!
Keep going.
Wake up.
Alice?
We're in our car?
Waking up in the crashed car felt like I had woken from one nightmare and entered another. I couldn't remember how I got there. All I knew was that something terrible had happened to Alice. The phone was dead. I'd have to find help on foot.
What happened there?
Among Alice's things was a book, The Creator's Dilemma, by a Dr. Emil Hartman. Seeing the book brought back my fight with Alice. I didn't like it, and I didn't like the guy's smug face on the cover either.
Oh, look at the headlights on the trees directly in front of us. That fog now incredibly thick, and we're going right into it. Now, I'm so confused at what happened there. We dive into the water and wake up here in a crashed car. Either something happened that caused us to lose time, or something weird is going on with our whole reality.
The gas station was my best bet. They'd have a phone I could use. It looked like a long hike through the forest to get there.
That car looked kind of weird. It looked like there were no doors on it. Was that like a weird rendering thing? And do I still have to worry about you birds? Oh, I don't even have a flashlight anymore.
Damn.
Well, we're Ubering for the rest of our stay. Oh, look at this. Something I'm actually starting to not like is just how bright the moonlight actually is. I might turn down my brightness. I feel like I can just see too much, but then again, maybe I should leave it up for the sake of YouTube compression. That really caught me off guard. I did not remember having to deal with evil birds.
Hello?
What is that?
Hello? Is someone there? The loose sheets of paper were pages from a manuscript entitled Departure. That was the name I planned to use for the next novel I had never gotten started. I was named the author. I hadn't written it. I couldn't remember writing it. In the scene on the page, the hero was attacked by an axe murderer in the woods at night.
Well, that's great. I've found manuscript pages. I can access them with F5. Oh, this sucks. This must be counting ones that I found previously. Oh, that changes things. Should I...
Departure by Alan Wake.
Should I be reading these? I don't know if I should. Maybe I'll read them after I finish a chapter. That's so annoying that that's persistent. That should be something that probably just gets left, like, only persistent on the extras page on the menu. Alright, I've turned down the brightness a little bit. I felt like if I went as low as I thought it should be, the contrast was a little bit too great. So for now, here we go with this. I kind of wish you actually needed the flashlight. Although maybe that would work better from a first-person perspective. There you are.
There? Please, I've been in an accident.
You idiot, you literally... They framed us up with, yeah, you're about to be attacked by an axe murderer. And then send us forward into the dark. Now, the way I see it, one of two things is happening here to get in my early game predictions. Either whoever this lady is, she, for whatever reason, gains power from me writing. Like, for whatever reason, she needs me to write this manuscript. That, or what we're living right now, is the manuscript.
The lights up ahead were a good sign. Maybe I wouldn't have to hike all the way down to the gas station to find a phone.
Okay, so a light on in a window would be a good sign. That heavenly glow coming from within inside, barely contained by the structure surrounding it, that's less of a good sign. That's more paranormal in my eyes. Ugh. Look at that waterfall below. It looks like there's some logs on top. Maybe a bridge has collapsed or something? And it looks like the lumberyard continues down there. I'm also worried, are the manuscript pages not going to spawn if I've already found them on a previous playthrough? Looks like a box full of logging gear that's been opened up. Okay, now, clearly we're supposed to walk up and over there, but this is a game that encourages exploration. So let's have a quick look around to see if there's anything. No, nothing in this cranny up here. Alright, let's progress forward. I think the exploration, from what I remember, starts to become more of a thing the more you progress in the game. Like, later on, there are some really, really open-ended levels.
Anybody there? Please, I've been in an accident.
I think it's a pretty safe bet this thing either gets used by or against me at some point. Right along the cliff.
Hey! Hey, you!
Phil!
There's been an accident. I need help. Listen, I need to...
Premium cabins for rent in...
Oh, hell.
Carl Stuckey.
Please.
To meet you. Non-refundable reservation deposit required. Fair and square.
And you're immediately gone, standing over a corpse. God. It's Uncle Jess from The Walking Dead Survival Instinct. And the spooky fog is back. And not the regular spooky fog, but the malicious one. So many blind corners. Where are you? Ugh. Where did you go? Found you, but it doesn't really help me. Get away from me! Into the light, into the light, into the light! I have nothing to defend myself with right now. Keep going, keep going! You're right there!
I had to figure a way out of this. Any second now, and Stuckey would be knocking on the door with his axe like...
You're too calm for this.
Shining.
You're too calm for this, and stop with the references. You leave that to me. Alright, so we have something now. Lucky you. Let's grab all these batteries. Oh, they're just straight up Energizer. That's weird to see product placement in a game like this.
Trying. It's the latest thing.
I think he's on the roof. Oh, that is so creepy how their dialogue is just like the ramblings of the person they used to be, just disconnected segments from their personality and delivered in alternating voices, some of them even normal.
Keep those cholesterol
Yes.
Bright Falls Sheriff Station. How may I...
Hello?
Well, there's... No. Sure is. Let's leave. We can't. This building's right alongside a cliff. Go! Okay, for a second my plan was actually just to let it plow through that part of the building and then run out the hole, and then I remembered just at the last moment what it's probably doing. Okay, where do we go? I don't really like these, like, wibbly-wobbly effects in the air. Alright, let's save battery. They're only using melee. So if we can get them worn down before they reach me, you'll need a little bit more doing. We have 6 batteries, so we're still...
Concussion. I'd never fired a gun outside a shooting range, and now I just killed someone. Or something. There were no bodies. They just disappeared. If I was dreaming, it felt real enough to make me sick.
Look at that, wait. Do you see that? There's like paint that is only revealed in our light. It's trying to lead us somewhere over here.
Eerie hand-painted graffiti was revealed by my flashlight. Someone had hidden a chest of supplies near it.
And how we get the flare gun. Although, only one single flare it looks like. We'll definitely want to save that for a real emergency. More ammunition, good. Ah, which reveals a helpful power box. Wow, we really learned some repair skills from the 2 guys at the diner.
The dark forest was the last place I wanted to go, but I had no choice. I had to get to the gas station.
Oh, I see. It turned off the power so we wouldn't get electrocuted walking over the fence. Unfortunately, it doesn't do the same for this. Now, we've got to be careful. There's a lot of forest off to our side, and you had melee. Now, I don't know if this is just a gaming instinct or if it's something that's coming back to me, but when they throw something, I wonder if we can't maybe use the focused beam to dissipate it in midair. We'll have to try that next time. Alright, we'll definitely want to stock up on as many of these things as possible. It's easy, I found, to forgo exploring when you're doing pretty good on supplies. But the thing is, not exploring when you have a chance is a good way to end up low on supplies when you really need them. Another manuscript page. Anything back here? No. Just a rusted old tractor in the woods. I don't really feel safe walking under that, but I guess we have to try. Another vision from that woman.
What the hell was that?
Now, in the cutscene before with Alice, it kind of seemed like she appeared to Alice, but not to me. Which is a really weird thing. It's a moment where, you know, even though, much like Alan, this game's perspective is very, very self-centered, that took place from her perspective, which is a little bit strange. and I wonder if it's not important. Also, we learned that Alan is something of a jerk.
When I saw the river below, something uncoiled itself inside my head. I realized that I'd have to find a way across. I didn't even want to look at the water.
Do you have a phobia? Oh, look at how distant that gas station is. But I do like how we can see from vantage points all the various areas on the map. Now look, I can understand Alan's desire to be left alone. I can even understand him being upset at Alice trying to get him to do something that he explicitly came here to get away from. But man, is he treating everyone like crap. Much like a Stephen King protagonist. Oh, exploration rewarded for the first time. We have ourselves a coffee thermos. Now, these are rough waters, and we saw before that there are a bunch of, pieces of lumber just in amongst it. I wonder if the logging camp isn't supposed to be abandoned. Can't cross over there. We just have to keep walking across these makeshift bridges. Yeah, all this material. It's really careless to let it just be thrown around like this. Oh, but where am I going? The path isn't necessarily so obvious. Maybe, no, it can't be right there. Right. Oh no.
Stucky was still out there, in the dark, stalking me.
Oh, that's so creepy, that disjointed dialogue coming out of the darkness and the fog. This game is actually making good use of what would otherwise be pretty unscary enemies by keeping them out of sight. Being a game that limits our visibility in multiple ways, but leaving a lot of their scariness to sound design. Oh! Okay, kill you. I can't tell if we just stop you from attacking or if that does actually work. Ow! Okay, we can't make it happen reliably. That's what we just learned. And away you go. We're going to need to replace our battery very soon. I don't necessarily like just how pointed the light is when we're not focusing it. I think it should be a much wider beam now. Logging area ahead. Proceed at your own risk. Yeah, I think it's a pretty safe bet that a lot of these things are going to be falling down at some point, but the lights are guiding us left, which means we have to check right for more of those coveted thermoses. Anchored cables, but for what? Oh, it looks like they lead off to some logs suspended over the whole place.
The staircase was broken. I had to make my way up some other way.
Alright, so it doesn't show us where to go, it shows us to stashes. But there's also an item limit. We have ourselves 12 batteries, a whole bunch of revolver ammo. So do we even need to go there? Well, I'll tell you what. We do want to go there because it could have flares. I think there's a very good chance that those suspended logs get dropped on us at some point. Now, what's... Ooh, it's a whole hidden cabin.
Taken. They're taken.
The Taken are filled with darkness. By the way, I love how he sees that and just goes, oh yeah, that's what they are. Huh. Good to see it put to words. They're filled with darkness, and that's why they're weakened by the light. But just what is the darkness? Clearly that woman is representative of darkness. Now, the log lady might have the right idea. Lithium batteries. Oh, right. Isn't there... That's coming back to me now. I think there's actually a difference between the types of batteries you can use. Now, once again, we see that the item limit is reached on revolvers, which means we are as prepared as we can possibly be. A glowing green light from a generator taunts me on the horizon, but something tells me I won't make it there in one piece if it's that obvious.
There was no power. There was bound to be a generator somewhere at the logging site.
What's up here? Maybe we'll have to lower these to get across some kind of gap. Maybe this gap. Oh, I see. It's on a line, almost like a controlled zip line.
With all this forestry equipment around, there had to be something I could use to reach the top.
Yeah, okay, I see where this is going. First we've got to start the generator, then we've got to get back there and use the controls. Here they come. Nope. Alright, shift, dodge. Shift, dodge, and that's how we do it. Okay, run, 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 run! Oh, you guys are actually pretty fast compared to me. Alan is quite out of shape after all. Die! No! I just can't... this camera is so hard to work with. Alright, all line up, single file. And that'll make you easier to deal with. Divide and conquer. Reload. You're vulnerable, which means we only need 3. Okay, so far you guys aren't that tough. The camera is my biggest enemy. This angle is also a little bit awkward on the camera. I mean, I understand that it's to emphasize the flashlight beam going off into the woods, and it succeeds at that, but it's just a little bit disorienting to me. Hello, what's that? A shotgun. Only a couple rounds for it, but we can become Father Grigori. Kind of annoying, though, that we can't really aim in the more focused way.
With all this forestry equipment around, there had to be something I could use to reach the top.
Getting really annoyed by how often Alan is interrupting me as a backseat narrator. There we go. Now we've just got to make it back there unmolested and operate those controls. We're backtracking in a horror game, so I have high hopes for our future. Huh. Let's just get you into place. And we should be groovy up in here. That looks like a good spot. There's no up and down. So we're just going to have to let you be a little bit haphazard, do a little bit of climbing. Now if we explore back here, is there anything for us to see? See, the thing is, with a forest map, you kind of have to have little side areas like this in order for it to feel as open as they want it to feel. But with so much exploration, I'll never know when I'm just wasting my time. But I'll tell you what's not a waste of time is climbing over these logs and getting into the light. We'll finally get to see what the purpose of these beams is in gameplay, although I think they've already told us that they do restore our health. Yep. That was a natural-looking jump. I think we'll keep to the revolver for now, unless we really need the shotgun. Although now would be the time to introduce a beefier threat. Another radio, and some shotgun ammo.
Well, I was just outside for a breath of fresh air, and what a night. I know most of you are probably in your beds by now, but if you're still up and around, take a moment. Step outside for a spell and breathe in deep. The weather is absolutely still. The sky is crystal clear. It's like the forest is quietly breathing along with you. As you listeners know, I'm a night owl, and it's on nights like this I wish I wasn't cooped up in the studio. Makes an old man like me wish I could just roam wild. But here I am, and who'd keep you company all night long if I weren't? It looks like I'm not the only one staying up late. Caller, you're on the air.
Hey, Pat, it's Maurice Horton.
Hello, Maurice. What are you up to?
Well, I was just taking Toby on his walkies.
Oh, isn't it beautiful out there?
Sure, but Pat, the reason I called is that Toby heard something rustling in the undergrowth and took off after it, and I couldn't find him.
Probably a rabbit.
Sure. Toby loves rabbits.
Well, sure.
Anyway, I figured that, if anyone runs into Toby, they could grab him. My number's on his collar.
And Toby's a friendly dog?
Oh, Toby loves people. Usually he comes back, but we were pretty far from home, and it sounds like he went pretty wild there. Great dog, but he's just too dumb for his own good.
Well, Maurice, it's out there now. Hope Toby comes home soon.
Yeah, thanks, Pat.
You have a good night now.
Oh, I love that. Just sitting in this cabin under the one beam of light, listening to this small-town radio host describe the same night that I'm sitting here observing. And then that caller comes in, giving us just that little hint of eeriness that I imagine will be expanded upon as we go. Dogs freaking out at something in the forest, indicating that it's not just us that this is happening to. I love that. And even him talking about being cooped up in the studio, I mean, I can just imagine him sitting in that lonely studio at his chair, looking out a dark bay window. Almost Voices of the Void vibes. Another flare gun, which presumably gives us more ammo. And let's keep moving. So far, we've only seen the flare gun in stashes, so it is actually possible to not have it yet by this point. You guys might find it kind of slow for me to stop and listen to every radio broadcast, but honestly, I really enjoyed that, and I think I'm going to do it for everyone I can. I mean, it's doing such a good job at leaning into the creepy and comfy.
The gas station was closer now, its light welcoming in the darkness.
Paul makes the best dogs in the state. Belly Burster is the best with no coat.
They're out there. But we are getting closer. That's our one reassurance. Just around the bend, and we should be there, but... first we've got to make our way through the much more open forest. There's a little shack right there. And the oppressive, scary vibe is back. They're going to be coming, I think. I can hear them! I can hear them running! That was too close! Okay, I don't actually need any of these ammo or batteries. Although I can take them. Safe haven, that's what these are. So wait, so if I step out, you'll come back for me, right? You'll come after me? I bet you're still out there. Here you come. Dodge that. Into here. And right before my blinded eyes, you fade away. Although the bushes still rustle. Okay, we need to keep moving. This dark fog, it actually gets so thick that I can't really see too well, even with the flashlight. Here you are. There are going to be times when we just have to run. Just have to run. That's the only real strat. Oh, we can't actually outrun you. Alan is so fat that we actually have to either fight or get to safety quickly. Which means that we're going to want to start off moving at a normal speed, a normal pace, and... Oh, but you arrived quickly. I wonder if you guys are persistent or if you'll just respawn every time. Whoops! Well, I accidentally used the wrong thing, but there's no kill like overkill, and... I bet this will act as a beacon... Yeah. Okay, well, it doesn't last long, but you won't follow me into that. Another manuscript page. I hope it's not leading me astray. Oh, ow. Oh, there's got to be something else nearby. Alan, you need to do more cardio. Yes, right here. Oh, this is going to get really frustrating. It wants me to run, but I can't run. Very much like a nightmare, I suppose. More ammo. Don't need more batteries. That makes 20 packs of camera batteries. That's not a good thing. Do they have the ability to manipulate machines? Because what worse place for that than a logging camp? Another stash. More flares would be very useful. I mean, even in a panic, I could point a flare gun at the ground and fire it off, and it would be all the safety I need. Probably kill anything close by, and keep new things from getting close. I adore the way he flings the light around as he runs. Makes the panicked run feel more like panic. Look at that. I love that. They give us a preview of the way they manipulate machines, and then put even more in front of us, making us imagine all the ways it could be killing us momentarily. I could flare gun them. I could, but I think I run for this shack. I think that's what I do instead. Or collect the collectible. Could also be doing that in this moment. Not smart, but what am I if not a horror movie white guy? Nope. Dodge. Eliminate one. Nope. If we miss any, we don't have the ability to kill two. Run! No! Come on. Reload, 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 reload! You're not averse to it except for the focus beam once it's off of you. And they do quite a bit of damage when they hit us. More shotgun ammo. We could definitely use it. Hello, what are you?
It bestows immortality on those who advance it to elevate all of mankind. Newton, Einstein, Sagan, princes among men. But the price for such a legacy is steep indeed. In Night Springs.
Night Springs? That's the town from my dream.
A quantum suicide. If our lives are already written, it would take a courageous man to change the script. Having called a press conference, Dr. Barclay Colvin is about to demonstrate that very courage.
Ladies and gentlemen of the press, I am Dr. Barclay Colvin, and I'm glad so many of you could join me here at the Moorcock Institute. Tonight,
sounds like my kind of place.
A practical demonstration of the many worlds interpretation. As you can see, this is a loaded 9mm pistol. It shall be part of a thought experiment. And now, a real experiment, known as a quantum suicide.
Did he say suicide? Is that a real gun? He's kidding, right?
Please, stay calm. There is no risk. Observe what occurs when I place the weapon against my own forehead. Now, you might think this round is merely a dud. Not so. Observe the flower pot. And yet, I myself cannot be harmed with this gun. With each pull of the trigger, two new realities branch off. One in which the weapon didn't fire, and one where it did. With my machine here, I have ensured that this reality is always the former. I have bestowed upon myself quantum immortality. Under no circumstances can this gun kill me.
So wait. What you're saying is that every time you pull the trigger, in another reality, you die?
Yes, of course, but that's completely trivial. There's an infinite number of things that could happen at any moment, and they always do happen somewhere. The point is, this one thing did not happen here.
You're insane, Colvin.
Insane? Insane?
Hey, was this thing supposed to be plugged in? I stumbled on it.
You fools! Gaze upon quantum immortality. Poor Dr. Colvin, felled by his own hubris or the ignorance of the masses. Perhaps he should have left the crate unopened, the decaying atom unobserved. Curiosity often kills the cat. Night Springs.
Huh. That was actually surprisingly interesting for a little off-the-beaten-path Easter egg. Obviously that's like a take on the Twilight Zone, but seeing it in this context, it actually kind of makes me think about the Twilight Zone as it would have been experienced back in the 50s. Just wait and see if there's dialogue here that's going to interrupt me. Because the Twilight Zone very much always likes to end on a, we'll just leave you to think about that. And so I always like to imagine, you know, in a less media-saturated time, on your little staticky, grainy TV in a house that's not so full of lights as they are now, having that in your head late at night and having to go to bed with whatever the episode just imparted, it makes me appreciate the series so much more. Well, we shut that up, I guess. Is there any reason why we'd want to do that? Clearly that evil is here. And we're gonna need quite a lot of it because it's giving us a whole crate full of ammo. Where are you, Stucky? Let's not walk under that. And here they come. Now let's get that light off. That darkness off, I should say. And bang, and bang! And it's a one-hit kill. Excellent. Very good for thinning the herd in a pinch. We really just have to... It seems like there's some level of auto-aim going on. Nope, back off, back off, back off. And they will actually try to flank. They know I can only hurt one of them at a time. That AI is actually being pretty smart, but you're quick. Oh. We really need to lock you in place if we're going to do anything about you. I shouldn't be turning my back for this long. Where are they? So many dangerous things dangling overhead. I knew something was going to try to come at me if I focused on this thing for too long. No. Are you stuck? Stucky stuck. I don't think I'm supposed to be able to kill you right now. I think this is a bug. Come on, reload, reload. There we are.
Stucky's body vanished, leaving behind only a lifetime of nightmares to come, assuming I'd reach the lights at the gas station alive.
I'm actually kind of relieved to hear dialogue for that. I was pretty convinced that I wasn't supposed to kill you right there. Thought you were supposed to rush around and you just gotten stuck on the world. But we can't open this. Maybe with the help of this thing. Or just climb over. Oh, never mind. I forgot how out of shape Alan is. Okay, now you let me open it? That's really annoying. Alright, let's go. There's going to be more darkness before the light. This home stretch is where I feel the most vulnerable. Oh, it's that friggin' thing again. Why is that parade float just being seen all over the place?
I recognized the parade float I had seen in Bright Falls when I first arrived with Alice.
That's kind of weird. It's like there's some, like, dark fluid leaking from under its eyes. Makes that grin look really twisted when you add that detail.
After the insanity I had just experienced in the darkness, the lights of the gas station felt comforting. At least for a moment, the sane world reasserted itself.
What does it say about a town like this where even the gas station looks so pretty? I'm going through this and I'm just imagining myself being able to smell the air. Something which the radio host, what was his name, Pat Maine?
The Deer Fest had been 2 weeks away when we arrived. If the day count on the banner was right, I was missing a whole week between the night we got here and now.
A whole week between me diving into those dark waters and waking up in my destroyed car. What was I doing in the meantime? Maybe not in control of myself typing up this manuscript. I mean, clearly she needs it.
The garage was a mess. It looked like someone had trashed the place, or that there'd been some kind of fight.
I'll write. I'll keep writing. Outside, there's only darkness. Outside the cabin, outside the story, there's only darkness. I can feel her presence in the dark. Just now, I could smell her perfume in the room. I'll reach her. I'll fix it up. I'll bring her back. The story will come true. If I stop, she's lost.
I don't believe this. It'd been me on the TV, talking crazy. Was I losing my mind?
That's weird. We just had like 3 levels of commentary and none of it was from me. Well, I guess I'm adding a 4th now. So it seems like that's the case. He wasn't able to get her out of the water, and so he's trying to write a new reality where this happens. It seems like he's been convinced that the story that he writes will become true. If we want to take this another level of meta, maybe she drowned while on vacation and he's gone insane while up here, convincing himself that he can make this happen. 68th Annual Deer Fest, September 15th to 18th, so it's early September. Games and activities, raffle tickets, fishing competition, pie contest, and surprise competitions. Live music. For the children, Bucktooth Charlie in the afternoons, and Montgomery the Mystic's Amazing Phantasmagoria in the evenings. Don't miss the legendary Deerfest Parade. Yeah, this is exactly the kind of thing you'd expect in a small town. Something that's a big deal here, but that no one outside of has heard of. Let's actually have a real close look at this map. So, alright, Watery, Elderwood National Park, Bright Falls, which we are here, and I'm not quite sure. Well, look, there's Cauldron Lake, so we're in the middle of that, or we jut out into the middle of that, so we're a little bit removed from the town itself, and the rest is kind of a little bit too low res to read, although I do see the Bright Falls Dam up there, which I guess is probably going to be important, because we did see it in the menu. Oh yeah, there it is, just kind of plainly presented. Yeah, I had lost sight of the fact that I was even looking for a phone. I just had the gas station itself as a goal in my head for so long.
Bright Falls Sheriff Station.
Oh, thank God, Sheriff.
Sheriff Sarah Breaker, you are...
I'm Alan Wake, but listen. I was in a car crash. My wife, Alice, she's missing.
Calm down, Mr. Wake.
We were staying in a cabin on the island, on Cauldron Lake.
There's no island on Cauldron Lake, not since the big eruption in the 70s.
What?
Please, I can take you there, okay?
You look like you've taken a pretty bad knock to the head. Are you okay?
Listen.
We'll figure this out. Please get in the car. We'll swing by the lake and then we'll go to the station, okay? Mr. Wake, have you seen Stucky, the guy who owns this place?
I realized I couldn't tell her what had happened in the forest. She wouldn't have believed me, and then she wouldn't have helped me with Alice.
That is so creepy. And there's some music, which is really, really nice and a great way to end the part, but I don't know if I can actually use it. I would hope so. But that is the end of episode 1. Oh, that was so cool. You know, it's really weird playing it from this perspective where certain things seem a lot more dated, particularly those pre-rendered cutscenes, but other things just hold up so well. And some things I just appreciate even more now. It is so cool, and I'm definitely happy to be playing this again while knowing all the Twin Peaks references. Look, this is a game that I expect to get through fairly quickly, and so for that reason, I'm probably going to upload this one day after the other, starting after I've already finished recording and editing this entire series. Or at least finished recording. I don't remember how many episodes there are, but I remember the game isn't terribly long. And it's leaning into so many, like, literary tropes that it's just got such a unique vibe that a lot of people considered corny, but I really appreciate now more than ever. Oh, wait, before I end this record session, I almost forgot I was going to read the manuscripts that we had found in episode 1. So it's probably an extras playback. Oh, and we can actually listen back to all of this stuff. That is so cool. Okay, so let's go Manuscript, Episode 1, and we have all but a few.
Departure by Alan Wake.
Yeah? Do I really have to do these individually?
The man turned to face me. His face was covered in shadows. It was hard to make him out in the darkness of the forest that surrounded us, but the axe he lifted was plain to see. It glistened with the blood of his victim. He grinned madly. The shadows were alive, distorting his features. It was a scene from a nightmare, but I was awake.
Alright, so it looks like I don't even have to put in the effort. Alan is going to read them for me. And as my new co-narrator, I'm more than happy to let him do that. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. I'm recording this part after I've just finished recording part 2, but I'm going to stick this at the end of part 1, and then at the end of part 2, you'll hear what we found during part 2.
The Taken stood before me. It was impossible to focus on it, as if it stood in a blind spot caused by a brain tumor and eye disease. It was bleeding shadows like ink underwater, like a cloud of blood from a shark bite. I was terrified. I squeezed the flashlight like my life depended on it, willing it to stop coming any closer. Suddenly something gave, and the light seemed to shine brighter. I heard them before I saw them, swooping down from the sky and screeching as they came. I spun around just as the cloud was upon me. For an instant, I stared into 100 dead eyes, black pearls glittering in the darkness. I raised the flashlight and the swarm exploded like fireworks. Feathers burned, turned into ash. I couldn't hear my scream above theirs. At first, I kept finding the pages as if by accident. The book I couldn't remember was either a terrible and true prophecy or an act of creation that had rewritten the world. I began to hunt the pages feverishly, for they held the answer to the mystery. With it, I could save myself. With it, I could save Alice. I stepped into the gas station's garage. It was dark and quiet. The place was a mess. It looked like someone trashed the place or that there'd been some kind of fight. Light spilled into the room through an open door at the back, and I made my way toward it. Without any warning, I was blinded by a bright light. An old portable TV on the shelf had come alive by itself. Impossibly, I could see myself on the screen, talking like a madman.
Wait. This is your narration, or at least part of it is your narration from the actual gameplay.
The cabin on Cauldron Lake? She asked. The sheriff looked at me suspiciously. The early morning light flooded through the office windows. I would probably never have gotten out of the woods alive without her help, but I couldn't tell her the truth of what I'd faced the previous night. She'd think I was lying or crazy. She'd lock me up, and she wouldn't help me find Alice. Stucky spat on the garage floor and tried to shake the cobwebs from his head. Ever since the couple never showed to pick up the keys, things had been fuzzy. Something, a feeling caught his attention. Stucky looked up and stared as his brain tried in vain to process the horror before him. He stumbled back, knocking over a can of oil. A black pool spread across the floor while he struggled for a brief moment, then let go as the unrelenting darkness engulfed him.
So it's not all that stuff. Some of it is actually additional context, even things we didn't see.
Rose knew she had been gushing, but right now she didn't care. As far as she was concerned, her brief meeting with Alan Wake was literally the high point of her life. She watched as he got in the car with his wife. She was pretty, confident, at ease with Wake. Not like Rose. They were perfect for each other. She'd have given anything to be called their friend. Barry Wheeler was bouncing off the walls. He jumped on a plane after his calls were ignored by both Al and Alice for several days. It could mean that they were both on a second honeymoon, but Barry didn't buy it. Al had been way too unstable for that, not sleeping, messed up. Barry had years of experience dealing with Alan Wake, and he couldn't ignore it. Something was wrong.
About it, it's just such a unique experience that I can't wait to get into more. But that'll be next time. And until then, if you like this video, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more creepy and comfy content. If you have any ideas for other videos you think I should do, the best place to suggest that will be at the Discord, which I will link in the description. If you want to try this game out for yourself, that link will also be in the description. I see that light turning on and off in the background. And as always, I will see you in the next one.